Just off the road from the Summer Olympics in London, we go one-on-one today with swimmer Claire Donahue. That's coming up next on Outlook. Stay with us. Hello and welcome to Outlook. I'm Barbara Deeb. We're happy to have you with us in the studio today as we go one-on-one with Claire Donahue, gold medalist Claire Donahue, WKU swimmer. Thanks for being here. I know you're being pulled in a lot of different directions, but thanks for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Well, and you're sitting there and you've got your gold medal. Now, you have other gold medals from the Pan American Games,
Right.
But this is the Olympic gold medal.
Yeah,
that
this
you're
is a
wearing.
little more special.
And tell us, you know, for those of you at home, I did get to feel it. You don't get to feel the weight of it, but it seemed rather heavy. But you said it's not as heavy as you
Yeah,
think.
it's we weighed it. It's just a pound, but I mean, everyone who's ever held it, like that I see, they're like, "Oh my gosh, this weighs so much." That's their first reaction.
I guess because it's so concentrated.
Yeah,
huh?
probably.
And so, what does it say? What is it?
Well, on the top it just says the Olympiad London 2012, and then on the back it has like the London 2012 insignia, and it's actually kind of cool because it has the event on the bottom. So I thought that was very unique.
Extremely unique.
Yes.
And what about the color?
They actually picked purple because it's a neutral color. It's not in anyone's flag, so I think that's what they said was the reason.
Plus, it's a sign of royalty.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes, it is. Okay, so you're wearing it today. You're doing a lot of publicity today. You've got it there. If this were a normal day where you weren't doing publicity, where's the medal stay?
At my house.
Okay.
Yeah, usually I keep it kind of close by because it's so valuable to me personally. Don't want to lose it. But and when I go to different schools, I'll take it with me. But if I weren't doing anything, it stays safe at home.
I have a dumb question, but I guess no question's too dumb. Do you insure it? How does that work?
No, not that I know of. Maybe I should look into that. A lot of people, well, some people will say they kept it in their sock drawer, but when Michael Phelps got his 7 gold medals, he kept them in a safety deposit box to keep it extra safe. So I'm still looking into what I want to do with it once I'm done doing all these appearances and stuff.
Well, because you're right, it's still so fresh and so new, and so that's why I'm so glad that we could get you here fresh off the heels of the Olympics. So a lot of people have so many questions. Let's start with, first of all, my gosh, when someone says your name and says Olympic gold medalist, how does that register in your head?
Well, it's been a month since I competed, and it still sounds weird. I mean, to say that I'm an Olympian, I mean, I've dreamed of it forever, and so to hear that, it sounds very strange. It was when I first finished my race in Olympic trials in Omaha. It was very, very exciting. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm an Olympian. Like, I was just like kept saying it over and over again because like it just made me smile and give me this amazing feeling. And it still gives me that same feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm an Olympian and I will forever be an Olympian. And to think of how far I've come, and it's just, it's a great feeling.
Well, it's cool because you say, I will forever be an Olympian. You're right, they can't ever take that
Nope.
away. So that in and of itself is so amazing. And I want to talk more about the games, but let's start with Claire Donahue, the little girl. Now, when I was a little girl, I used to sit in front of the TV nerd, watch the anchors, and that's what I wanted to do. Were you that little girl who said, I'm going to be a swimmer?
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was 10, I think that was probably the first time I watched swimming, and I swam since I was 6, but watching it on TV and watching the Olympics, I was like, I want to do that. Because in my head, and it's like the ultimate, and it is, and the ultimate meet, and I wanted to be the best of the best. And so that was my cue that I would be the best of the best. So watching it, yeah, I was like, that's what I want to do.
Now, you said you started swimming at 6. Was that like when they put you in the water, did your parents say, this girl has a gift? Or just
I mean, when I was really young, probably like 2 or 3, they'd tell me stories when they threw me in the water and I like opened up my eyes and started swimming. But I didn't actually learn how to swim. My first team was when I was 6, and so I kind of learned from that.
Okay, so you were doing team
Yeah, when I was 6. So I guess, and it wasn't much. They do like 25 yards, and that's the most. So when I was probably like 5 is when I started like actual swim lessons, like learning how to swim. And then 6, I was on a team, and then it was just kind of a progression from there.
But was there a time when you thought, through this progression where you thought, I can do this? Like, I've got this.
When I was 10.
When you were 10, really?
Yeah. Well,
Really? Wow.
when I was 10, I told my coaches, I was like, oh, I want to go to the Olympics. I was like, I'm going to the Olympics. And just because I wanted it so bad. And I had still have a very big passion and excitement for swimming. And even though it's hard and sometimes I hate it, most of the time it's it's something I want to do. And but I guess it was probably a year ago when I really, really felt it in my grasp. I got second at nationals last year, and the way trials work is top 2 get to go to the Olympics. So I was like, I'm second in the U.S. right now, and I just have to hold that for another year. So that's when I really felt it and felt like I could do it, and here I am.
Because for a 10-year-old to say, so you think you were born to swim? I mean, can you say that? Or?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you could. I feel like I was, but I think one of the big factors in me being so successful is loving it when I was so young. I mean, that's why I started and that's why I continued, because I loved it so much. And there's a lot of different things why I loved it: the social aspect, the having goals, pushing myself, being able. One of the coolest parts about swimming or any sport or any activity you do, is being able to push yourself beyond your limits in practices and all the hard work that goes into it, and then being able to be successful. And there were times when I wasn't so successful, but and that was the time when you got to push yourself harder. So all those kind of things kind of built me into what I am now.
Built you into what you are now. You have 3 siblings, your parents, and so here's the big question. Where did that come from? Where did that drive that built me into what I am? Because I mean, to be an Olympic athlete of that caliber, that doesn't just come from, your parents, do you look to them? Did they ingrain that in you?
I think so. I mean, it comes, from within, having that passion, but a lot of it, comes from my family. I mean, I started swimming because my brother started swimming, and I was like, he's doing it, I have to do it.
Older brother.
Oh yeah, I always did. My older sister, she started gymnastics, so I had to do gymnastics, and then my brother started swimming, I had to start swimming, kind of thing, and so they got me into it, and my parents wanted me to have fun with it. They wanted me to do well and be happy, but they wanted me to have fun with it, and that's kind of what built me in. A big part of what makes me successful is enjoying the sport and enjoying what I'm doing.
But they never pushed and said, you see these stage moms who are backstage at these beauty pageants with these kids. It was never like that for you.
No, not at all. I mean, I remember, being my senior year in high school, be like, Claire, you don't have to go to practice, because we'd have to get up at 4:30 in the morning, or I would, and they'd be like, you can take off this morning. I'm like, no way.
Wow.
So they were very supportive, and it's a lot of hard work, and they'd want me to take a break, and I'd be like, no, I can't take a break. So they were very good about keeping me in the right path.
And it obviously paid off. We're going to talk more about that. And some of your training, which you do in the Knoxville area. You come from Lenoire City, Tennessee. And then at the Preston Center on the campus of WKU. We're going to take a short break. And when we come back, more with Olympian Claire Donahue. Stay with us. Outlook continues. I'm Barbara Deeb. We're coming to you from the studios of WKYU PBS, and we are honored to have with us for another segment Claire Donahue, the former WKU swimmer and now gold medalist. So let's talk now about the gold medal and about the Olympics, all right? You found out that you were one of the top 2 in the country. You found out you were going to the Olympics, okay? You dreamed of that since you were 10 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. On that day when you competed and you won and you looked up there and you saw the score and you thought, I'm going to the Olympics.
Yeah.
What could that feel like?
Well, you dream about it and what it's going to feel like. You daydream and have these, what it's going to be like going, what it's going to be like when you find out, and daydreaming a lot. But when it actually happens, it feels like 10 times better than what you imagine. And to have that feeling it's one of the best feelings I've ever had, and I think I'll ever have. It's just a million different emotions. I mean, I was crying, I was excited, I just to have so much hard work pay off, and you know, so much uncertainty until that moment of looking up and seeing that number 2 is amazing.
Who's the first person? Like, who did you want to tell right away?
Well, I first wanted to see my parents. Like when it kind of sunk in, like within the few seconds, I knew where they were sitting, and I tried to wave to them, but of course they were way more, I mean, just as excited as I was. So my mom was crying, my dad was crying, like everybody was just so excited. I mean, I wanted to tell everybody. And, after I raced and warmed down, and I looked at my phone, and of course, you know, my coaches. I had some coaches there with me, my club coach, and so I wanted to see all them, my boyfriend, my family, just everybody. I wanted to, you know, hug and just share my excitement with teammates. Just there's so many people.
But then there's that big exhale. Okay,
Yeah.
we did it, and now the real hard work, because now you're in a different category, different caliber, right?
Yeah.
Because now you're competing in the Olympics.
Yeah, that was a weird part too, because my goal had just been make the Olympic team, and then I made the Olympic team. I was like, what do I do now? So me and my coach had to sit down and decide, you know, what our next goal is going to be, because you know it's a month away, and between trials and then swimming in the Olympics. So you have to really look at it and look at what's realistic and what we can do, and you know. And my 3 goals going into Olympic trials were kind of the same as the Olympics. I wanted to make it in the top 2 for Olympic trials, and I wanted to have fun with it, and I wanted to get a best time. So those were kind of same my goals: get a best time in London, have fun, make sure I take it all in, and just enjoy everything and
get a best time,
yeah.
which you did.
Yeah,
got a best
I got
time.
a best time. I got in the top 8, which was the 3rd goal, and that's just, I mean, to be able to come out and be able to do all 3 of your goals, you don't usually, that doesn't happen.
No, I'm wowing as I'm sitting here, because I'm thinking, and the beautiful part, who was it that said, have fun with it? Because that's huge.
Well, I think a lot of a lot of the returning Olympians tell you, you know, it goes by so fast, and you want to really enjoy it. And a lot of people say that, and I wanted to make sure I, you know, took everything in, because there's so much that goes on every day. Within one day, there's a million things going on that you really just want to sit back and take it all in, and that's what I tried to do. And for, you know, we were together as the team with USA Swimming for about a month, and about almost 3 weeks before we raced, and so being with them and was awesome, and training with you know, the best in the world, and it was a good feeling to be with them and to share that excitement with someone who understands.
Well, so there's the team, okay? So there's you've got all these very competitive, high caliber, motivated, I don't want to say cutthroat, but I suspect out there in the world there are those. So how do you make that work for you?
Yeah, I know, it was kind of interesting, because you have, your competitors. You're on a team with the other person.
And the best in the
Yeah,
world.
right.
Yeah.
And so when I was kind of a little worried, not too much, but when you get there, it's not like that at all. I didn't feel that competitiveness with, you know, I'm a very competitive person, but I didn't feel it with the other girl, Dana Vollmer, who was the other girl who went, and it wasn't like that at all. I mean, she's only a year older than me, but a veteran, and she, you know, I looked up to her, and if I needed advice, she would give it to me, or, you know, and when we trained together, we fed off of each other, and kind of learned more about the stroke, because, you know, everybody's stroke and technique and workouts are so different, and that was one of the cool parts, is learning about that from so many other people, because, you know, you have so many different people coming together, and learning about their different work ethic or their workouts was awesome. And it wasn't, I mean, I didn't feel any pressure or any, you know, awkwardness because you're competing against them. It was, I mean, it was like a family. It was like you had that bond, and you didn't feel that. It was just friendship and friendly competition kind of.
Well, and in the end, though, no matter, you know, what everyone brings to the table, it's about you, the athlete, Claire Donahue. You're going to do it your way, because you have that special gift that only Claire Donahue has.
Yeah, and when I got up on the blocks, and one thing I've been trying to do a lot in the Olympics and Olympic trials and my meets, those big meets, is to focus on what I need to do in my race, because I've done it a million times. I know what to do. I just have to do that. And when you think it like that, it makes it seem easy. You've done this race a million times, and you know what to do.
So there you are, okay? It's Olympic time. Now, help our audience understand how it was that you got the gold medal, because it was in the
Right.
relays. But
Well, with the U.S., there's so much depth, and so we're able for relays to have 4 people swimming it in the morning in prelims, and then 4 different people swimming at night. So I swim it in prelims, me and 3 girls, and what our goal was is just to make it back for the other 4 people for finals, and that's what we did. And we all swam amazingly.
but even with that, if you did good time, you would still then be eligible for a gold medal.
Right, yeah, and we knew that going in, and we wanted to have a good race, and then being able to watch the other 4 girls swim it was very different. I mean, you don't get that perspective very often, and to be able to watch them was exciting. You're like wanting to be there, wanting to swim, and trying to push them faster, and then being able to see them finish and look up and see that they got first.
Okay, I don't know
awesome.
about you, but I'm feeling the chill bumps. So you're there, because we have pictures of that. So you're watching them in the finals, and you're realizing when they touch that wall, that's it.
Yeah.
They did it.
I know, and that was an amazing feeling. I was sitting next to one of the girls on the relay with me, and we were hugging and looking for the other girls to kind of share that excitement with. And one of them was just like bawling and so excited. I mean, I think we all were so excited. And then when they hand you the gold medal, I think that was really the moment where you're like, oh my gosh, like not only am I an Olympian, but now I have a gold medal. Like, how can you get any better than this? Like, it's just an amazing feeling.
It's kind of like when you're nominated for something and say, well, it's nice to be nominated. It's really nice to have the gold medal to come home with, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an incredible feeling, just still a month after.
But I've got to ask you to share with us, because there's a lot of people watching this who will never know that moment, never experience that moment, but you're there and you're representing your country. You're representing WKU, where you got your college degree. You're representing so many things, and you're standing up there and they're playing our national anthem.
Yeah.
What must that be like?
A lot of different feelings. I mean, just pure excitement. I mean, to be able to, you go there, represent, USA Swimming, but it's huge. You're representing your country, and that part, I think, was one of the biggest parts, to be able to say that, wear the cap and have the American flag on it. And then, once we finish, I finished my races, and it wasn't just USA, yeah, it was WKU, and I got so much response from WKU and the community, and just so excited for me and so happy that I had succeeded at my goal and done so well. And so I feel, I'm WKU, you have a lot of pride in WKU and where you come from, and to be able to represent them and represent them well was huge for me, and I felt a lot of pride in that.
Well, we want to talk some more about that and find out what Michael Phelps and Brian Lochte are really like, and what can she eat when she's training. We're going to talk about that when Outlook continues with Claire Donahue right after this. Stay with us. Outlook continues. I'm Barbara Deeb. We're so glad you're here because we're sharing this story, an Olympic story. Gold medalist Claire Donahue joins us. And for those who might be just tuning in, share with us the excitement, the moment when you knew that you had conquered the gold. It was coming your way.
Yeah, well, it's sometimes it's hard to explain, like, that emotion, but the only way I can is just pure excitement, thrill, happy, can't stop smiling kind of feeling for months at a time. I mean, I haven't come down from it, from all the excitement. It's just been amazing to be able to have your dreams come true, because it doesn't happen that often, and for that to have it come so early at such a young age, it's very exciting. It's been amazing.
You talk about the competitive spirit, and in a positive way, that it gives you that energy. When you're competing against another athlete from the United States as opposed to competing from someone from another country, is there a different kind of competition level?
A little bit. I mean, I've kind of changed my view on swimming and competing, and in the past, yeah, I'm a very competitive person, and so I would want to just win and win. But lately I've really tried to focus on just doing the best I can, because that's really all you can ask for, is competing your own race and doing the best you can. And so when I was competing in London, yeah, you're swimming against, you have teammates that you want to do very well, and that kind of interaction is more of like friends and family, and so you still want to race and do your best, but you want them to do well. And then when you're racing against these other countries, it's different. It's not kind of like you expect. It's exciting, and you want to do your best, but like there were moments when you're watching and you see people get world records from other countries, and that's just exciting. I think for everyone. I remember one particular race, the men's mile. Chinese did awesome and just blew it out of the water, and that moment, and got a world record, and that moment is just very exciting. And so it's not what you expect. The whole experience is not what you expect, and so to be so competitive, but then to have so much excitement for another team is a little strange feeling, but it's a good feeling.
Well, you say, so it's changed you. It's kind of changed the way you approach what you do in a positive way, but certainly changed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely in a positive way. And it makes swimming more fun. It makes competing more fun, because you do want, I mean, in any sport you do, if you're competitive, you want to win and you want to beat people. but it's more than that. It's about racing and competing against yourself, competing against your time, and having fun with it.
How do you stay there? How do you stay this amazing, gregarious, outgoing, wonderful person that you are, and not let it go to your head?
Thinking that way, I think, is important. Thinking that to compete for yourself and for your team and for so much more, but really to stay grounded, thinking about how blessed I am to be here, and because it's very rare, and it's very lucky. I mean, to be sitting.
It's a lot of hard work.
Well,
too.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that goes into it, but to stay grounded. Yeah, I guess to think about where you've come from and how far you've come, and just think about everything. Step back and look at where you've come, where you are now, what you can do with it, that sort of thing.
Michael Phelps, Brian Lochte, some of the more popular names from the swimming world at the Olympics. Everybody get along?
Yeah, it's funny because, before I come into this, I've been to another USA meet during the Pan American Games, so I knew a few of them, but the majority of them, are these huge stars and people I looked up to. Like Rebecca Soni was one of the huge ones that I looked up to when I was younger, and then I got to be on a team with. So it was a little intimidating at first, but then when you're there, it's and you meet them and you become friends with them. It's at first it's a little strange, but then it becomes normal. And I mean, they are normal people, and it's funny because you go into it worrying about how things are going to be with different people and how they're going to be, but it's again not like anything you expect. Ryan and Michael and those guys, they're funny. Like, you spend a lot of lunches and breakfasts and dinners together, and sitting at tables together, and they're always cracking jokes, always lightening the mood. So
they're human beings too?
They are.
They are human beings too. We talk about, you said you spend meals with them. Let's talk about meals here.
Okay.
Because we've read at least I've read stories about Michael Phelps, what he can eat when he's training. When you're training, can you really just eat whatever you want?
No.
No.
I mean, you want to, but, and it depends on who you are. Like Michael can, because he burns so many calories and he needs to eat anything he can get a hold of. But for me, it's something that I've struggled with in the past, really eating healthy and focusing on what I need to eat to perform at my best. And it's kind of funny that it comes down to just to performing well and eating, and there's so many different factors that can help you succeed, and eating healthy is one of them. And I do allow myself to have dessert every now and then, but I am fairly strict with my diet, eating salads, eating fruit, making meals.
Smart choices.
Yeah, right.
How often do you train every day?
I guess an average of 4 or 5 hours a day. about 6 days a week. So, and it rains, depending on the day, I do anywhere from 4 to 5 hours, and it's swimming, running, lifting, stretching. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it.
Well, when we were saying, I said, are you having any after effects? Any ailments? And you said sometimes shoulder issues.
Yeah, I have a lot of, not a lot of shoulder issues, but occasionally from the repetition of swimming, it's a lot of the same stuff, and I've been very lucky to where I haven't had anything huge. It's just been minor shoulder injuries where I just need to ice or get stem or stuff here and there, but it's nothing, surgical. But
thank goodness, let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
2016 Olympics, are we going to see Claire Donahue
That's
there?
That's the plan. I mean, I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and 2016 is definitely in the books. I definitely want to see that in my future, and along with a lot of other meets. And every year there's a big meet coming up, and so that's another thing that I'm looking forward to.
And now you have been amazing. Like we say, she's just back, a month out from the London Games. You talk to a lot of school groups, young people who and I've seen the way they look at you, it's amazing. What would you say? What do you want them to take away from your experience?
Well, I want them to see that hard work does pay off, and not just in sports, but in anything, whether it be school, or if you're whatever you're interested in, that if you want something bad enough, you can do it. And I wasn't good when I was younger, and it takes a lot of work. You got a lot of years. I mean, I had the dream of going to the Olympics when I was 10, and 13 years later is a long time, but it's 100% worth it. And so putting that hard work and that time and that effort and that passion to whatever you're doing is very important if you want to succeed and you want to do well.
Well, you've made Lenoire City, Tennessee, WKU, and the world very proud of you. Continued success.
Thank you very
Continued
much.
success. We've been talking with Claire Donahue, Olympian Claire Donahue. That's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of Outlook. I'm Barbara Deeb. We're glad you joined us.